But I gotta get my volumes straight here. My volumes are all out of whack. Where the volume thing at? That's volumes figured out there. There we go. There we go. Should I start you guys out? What should I start you guys out with? A yo, oh yeah, buddy?
Oh yeah, buddy.
That's probably appropriate considering, or how about the winning since we got a question answered?
Duh. Winning.
What else? Let's do a TTS here. I forget the names of the thing. Pirate? Should we do Pirate or do Sunshine? Sunshine's fun. There we go. There's a TT. Hopefully my thing works. Is it working? There it goes. There it goes. There it is. All right. Okay, now if I unmute this, I gotta make sure I don't have my stream running here, so we get feedback and stuff. All right. All right. I think we're good.
That was a mouthful. So this one is from RyveGenesis, who wants to know, we know that normally at the normal death penalty.
There was some people did not like Ryve's question on the AOC Discord. I was linked some people that were unhappy that I asked a percentage-based question. I don't know. There's always people mad on that Discord. It's fine. But, you know, the reason I asked it was because I should pull up my questions, but it's one of my questions that we went through in a stream a couple weeks ago. But, yeah, all these things, yes, we knew all these things. Some people said, oh, it's on the wiki. And the question I ask in that question, like I said, right, how severe is the skill and stat dampening? All we know is there's skill and stat dampening before this, right? We don't know how severe it is, right? So it's a valid question. I don't care what they say. Yeah, we got numbers behind it because there's the thing, like you can say, oh, you get skill and stat dampening, but it doesn't mean anything until you see the numbers. It doesn't mean anything. And I know it's a balance question, but the reality is it kind of gives you an idea of how severe it's going to be, because I've played games with experience stat where it's the experience stat, you don't even notice it. Like Throne and Liberty. And I know not everybody likes Throne and Liberty, but the experience stat in Throne and Liberty, you don't even notice it. Like, it's not a big deal because you just use like currency, use their in-game currency, the Solent or whatever, to just buy out your XP debt. And Arcade, I didn't think experience debt was a big deal in Arcade either. You just used labor, which, labor, you're always needing labor. So, it's kind of a penalty. But in Ashes, it's a bigger penalty. You cannot just use gold to buy out your death penalty experience, right? You have to actually go grind mobs to get rid of that. So it's like a bigger deal. And these people are, well, obviously not that smart, but that's fine. Yeah, so, yeah, he has not updated the wiki yet, obviously, but, we didn't know. We know you drop a percentage of your gatherables and your materials. We don't know what that percentage is. And so once you learn what the percentage is, that makes a difference on how severe this is. And again, you have to actually work off this experience stat. It's a little different than what, other MMOs have had. So I don't know. I think it's a good question. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I think it's a good question, and they can not like it if they want. So I didn't actually, because I was at work, I want to listen to it again because I didn't necessarily hear it super well.
But we don't know the numbers behind the penalty. For instance, what percentage of materials do players drop? What percentage of glint is dropped? How severe is the skill and stat dampening? And what is the average time it will take a player to work off XP debt from one death? That was a lot of questions in your one comment. They were cramming it.
Okay, so just to recap real quick there, we're talking about percentage lost, time to recoup that percentage.
Wizzy, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. What'd you think of the stream, Lizzie? What are you maining, Lizzie? I don't know if I've ever asked you that question. What are you thinking about maining? You liked it?
The material percentage
Cleric.
sunk versus
Yeah. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to pigeonhole you in because I know obviously you're a female, but yeah, that's
what was the last one?
that's what usually happens,
balloons
right?
Drop. And then your stat dampening. Stat and skill
Stat
dampening.
dampening. Got it. Okay.
I will say
so
that
first,
I really like the what is that behind him? Is that like a curtain? I don't know. It's kind of cool
I
looking.
want to say that the most important.
He's in a different place now. Like, where is he now? He's not in his normal office. Is he in his house? Might be in his house.
The most important.
The glass
part
door.
of
It's very
this
yeah. It's
question,
very nice.
is you're asking about values, right? You're asking about percentile values. You're asking about time that it takes to recoup the percentage and whatnot. Any time that we're at a stage we're in now, and that in Alpha 2, we're going to be testing this, those values are the most subject to change. So to be clear, like we're going to do best estimate.
Conference room. Yeah, that's probably what that is. Oh yeah, look at all the chairs. Oh yeah, it's a conference room. Yeah, you're
best
right.
guess kind of balance pass.
Definitely a
for
conference
Alpha
room of some
2,
sort. Yeah.
with the full expectation and understanding that the purpose of Alpha 2 is to really dial in those guesses and take into consideration player interaction with those numbers and what feels best. So just off the bat, like those values are not what we should be focusing on at this stage. But to give you an idea kind of where we are. First of all, like when we're talking about dropping items that are in your material inventory, whether that be glint or that be other material types, we're talking roughly between anywhere from 20 to 30% of a stack is going to be
20 to 30% of each stack. I assume that's what he means. So if you have a stack of 100 glint, you would drop 20 to 30. And then all your materials. So in other words, you drop 20% to 30% of all your materials would be what it would be, right?
lootable on a
Hey, Surgeon General, welcome in.
per death basis. Now, that is a value that can change.
He said on a per death basis. Now, I also want to know, like he says that you can put like bags and things that'll change it. I do kind of want to know, like, if you like die successively to very hard PvE mechanics, will they like throttle that death penalty a little bit? Like have diminishing returns? I'd kind of like to see that.
Based
Honestly.
off of the types of bags that you
A stack of 1, will it draw? That's a good question. Yeah. That might be a way to get around it, right? just have small stacks of everything.
are using to carry those materials.
I think what they'd have to do is, like, if you had a bunch of stacks of 1, you still drop 30%, but it's got to be like RNG based on which items of those small stacks drop, right? And so that's where it could get interesting, right?
Materials. In addition, there's other progression that can allow you types of bull on a per death basis. Now, that is a value that can change based off of the types of bags that you are using to carry those materials.
Yeah, so bags can change it.
In
Yeah,
addition,
that makes
there's
sense.
other progression that can allow you, and some stats, I believe, that can allow you to mitigate that value also. When we are talking about the percentage that's lost, or excuse me, not lost, the percentage of your level that is accrued as experience debt from death, generally you can expect that that's going to live around 3 to 4% of the level in accrued experience debt per death.
Yeah, and they've said that already, right? And we knew that. Well, no, he said 2 to 3, but that was for a max level player. And it scales, right? So, but he basically kind of said that already.
However, additionally, there is a way to mitigate that percentage debt, and that is through the resurrection ability that's provided to clerics. So clerics have the ability to resurrect their allies.
Yeah, and I guess I missed this, and I saw some people commenting on this because I was at work watching this, right? So that's big. That's big.
And that resurrection will return a percentage that would have been accrued as experience debt, and that return percentage is predicated on the investment into the resability as well as the stat that is the stat of the cleric that is tied to the resurrection effect as well. So those can return.
That's huge. So if you don't, not full wiping is like very important. If one of our clerics can stay alive, please. That's huge.
So you can mitigate.
Because like when you think about it, you're trying to fight a raid boss, obviously, and obviously I'm more into PvP, and I'm going to do a lot of PvP, but you have to do everything in Ashes. You're not just a PvPer in Ashes. I guess you could be in some instances, but I think a lot of players are going to have to participate in like multiple systems, right? If you want to excel. So wiping multiple times to a raid boss, man, since they're open world, you can leash it, like you can get away. And, if you know a wipe is coming, like the clerics could just start to run away, and that could save you on a lot of experience debt. Because if you have experience debt and you have skill and stat dampening, then you've got to earn that off before you can attempt the boss again, right?
That to a degree.
Staying alive
How
song,
long will it
absolutely.
take to recover that, and what stat dampening kind of occurs? Anywhere within a level, if you acquire 100% experience debt for that level, you max out the experience debt. Essentially, you don't ever buy that down. You're probably looking around a 20% stat efficacy dampener, right? So on average, if you're at 100% debt.
Oh, that's not bad. That's only at 100%, which nobody's going to get to 100%. Like, unless you want to, for some reason. So 20% dampening at 100% XP debt. So that means like you're like, the way I'm taking that, and maybe I'm wrong in saying this, and maybe I'm not thinking about it right, but say you're level 25, you have experience debt that's all the way back to the start of your level 25 bar, because you can't de-level, right? You can't be de-leveled from this. Yeah, I mean, I watched it already, Fupo, but I didn't get to kind of watch it real close because I was at work. So I was kind of watching it off and on. But I did kind of get through the whole thing, more or less, already.
For a level, and you got to work on.
But 20% dampening at 100% XP debt, which most people are, you probably have to die, 30 times or something? I don't know how many times that is, but that's not bad. So that I get one death, you're probably talking about like 1 or 2% stat dampening. Like, that's nothing. That's fine.
All that off before you can start progressing in the level again. You're at around 20% overall stat dampening. Time it takes you to regain that debt is predicated on the level you're at, right, and how you speed. So that's a highly variable value. Yeah, I think those hopefully answer all your questions.
So
I know that one's one that people have heard a little bit before, or at least elements of it. I think glint is a new element of that that wasn't there before when we've answered it.
I mean, there was a lot of elements that weren't there. People made the argument that it was on the wiki already, but we didn't know a lot of things. And that's, I mean, the way I worded the question, I put all these things in here. We know there's skill and stat dampening, but what is the percentage? And how much do you actually drop of your materials? And after hearing that death penalty, I don't think that's that punishing. Honestly, I think that's not too bad of a death penalty. So that's just my thoughts. So a lot of people are worried about the death penalty. I'm not personally, but people that are, I think it's fine. From what they said there, it doesn't sound that bad. So.
But not some people are newer to our community, so that will be handy for them. And of course, if you want your comments spotlighted on YouTube,
I wanted to watch that just because obviously, I have to gloat a little bit. And then before I go, I'm just going to watch the stream, the fighter on YouTube, but I wanted to go over here because I kind of missed this part a little bit. with the art section here. This part. I want to go over this a little bit. The God Spike. There it is. I want to go over the God Spike a little bit. Because they hinted at wars coming, and then they said the God Spike, the Tauren God Spike, is used to basically declare war. Is that what they said?
Yeah, and I actually have the Tauren.
The death penalty really gets kind of punishing, a lot of corruption. Yeah. For if you get corrupted, yeah. Yeah, I think corrupted death penalty could be, very bad, obviously, because it's 4x of that. Yeah, for sure.
Spike. I was going to save it for last, but I realized I should have put the VFX with that after. So we'll just share that next here.
Okay.
These are some of the concepts for them. Obviously, this is not the end model, but do you want to talk a little bit about what the Tauren God Spike is for, or just leave them?
Sure.
I think you tease people. They're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, no, I talked a little. This is something you're going to be seeing
We
next
talked
month.
about it in our Discord.
Yeah, so it is next month. I thought he had said that. So the question is it Node Wars or Guild Wars?
Yeah, we talked about, the Tauren Empire
or both, but I think it's
was an ancient empire on Vera before the Aelins.
I think they get to it, but I think it's more Node Wars based because I think they show some more images here in a minute.
The Aelins and the Purian empires got stood up. There was an empire of half elves that their demise came under the rule of King Atrax, and the God Spike was a particular interesting artifact that.
Let's go back to it. I don't know how to do frame by frame like you can on. I don't think you can on Twitch. On Twitch, you can do. I don't think you can do frame by frame on Twitch. I need to turn Chrome down a little bit.
To initiate essentially this.
Balance audio levels a little bit better there. There we go. I missed it again. There it is. There it is. This image. So military and scientific. So I get the feeling like the God Spike has something to do with Node Wars. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but since obviously they're talking about military and scientific nodes. And physical attack, magic attack, physical res, magic res. Is it like a buff or like you... I don't know. It's like it's confusing. So didn't they say it was like for declaring wars? But this is almost like maybe, like how they have like guild banners and things in some MMOs. Almost like feels like it's that. So like if you're in a military node and you can put this banner down and give your party physical attack, like it, in a way, it sounds like that. But yeah, we're going to have to watch next month.
Would be able to kind of sap into and siphon out the essence that laid within Vera. So not to get into too much detail, but it is an interesting ancient artifact that can be used as part of certain war declarations that we may get some insight to in the coming months.
The cat part, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, they both.
It can be used for war declarations. So I think it's for node war declarations then. I guess maybe you can put a node war declaration for... Maybe that's it. You could put a node war declaration down and with different types of spikes gives you different types of buffs during the node war. Maybe that's it. I'm probably completely off. It could even be for Guild Wars.
This essence.
It could be for Guild Wars too.
You get to see that next month. So get some. I want to hear some theories of what you guys think next month's topic is going to be.
Yeah.
And the next thing that we have.
Jinx.
Here,
it was good, man. It was good. So next month we're getting wars of some type. Whether they're node or Guild Wars, we don't know yet. But the fighter was good for sure. It was very good. Since this is an hour and 38 minutes, I was just going to watch this on Ryvelations episode 5 tomorrow. Just a little advertisement for that. But since it's so long, I figure I'm going to at least get through part of it today. Because Ryvelations is usually only an hour long, right? Late Q3. You know what? Like I'm up and down on winning Q3. After that stream, I feel like earlier Q3, because another thing they did say during the stream, and I don't remember if they say it in this or if it was in the Twitch part, but they said that PI is testing, fairly often is what they said. So I think, I don't know, it could be pretty soon, man. It could be early, but who knows? After the next stream. Well, and then the other thing is, if we're getting Node Wars next month or Guild Wars, but especially if we're getting Node Wars next month, like I'm definitely like I would move more towards early Q3 now. And I was thinking like late Q3, but man, I'm really kind of leaning towards early Q3 if we get Node Wars next month. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another day in the world of Vera. And we have
July.
an exciting
First time chat.
update
Welcome in.
today. We are going to be showing off
Yeah, July. I could see it.
the most beloved archetype.
I am on the Narc spreadsheet in July. Narc's not very happy with me right now. He's mad at me again. Thank you for the follow, Z. Appreciate it. Why is it not showing in my stream chat? That's weird. I don't know why it's not showing that. It should show that. It shows it there. That's weird.
Types in fantasy MMORPGs, the fighter archetype, and there has been a lot.
Oh yeah.
of work
Well,
that's been done.
I used to not stream very much, Z, but I'm going to try to do more streaming as we get into Alpha 2, lead up to it. So
In progressing this, obviously, last time we showed anything remotely fighter related, it was I think almost 2 years ago when we did our first basic weapon melee.
I'll say
fighter.
like the grass almost looks better. I don't know if it does. It's actually better, but maybe it's because he's so zoomed in. But I don't know. Overall, the water too. The water to me looked better, and maybe it's just the fog effect that's on top of it.
Been revamped from Alpha 1. And there were a couple abilities, obviously, that we showed off, but nothing like the showcase we have stored for you today. You are going to get some pretty in-depth understanding of how this archetype has been redesigned and the progression that's going to be available as part of Alpha 2. And we have joining us to talk through that today two of our absolutely stellar and glorious senior designers on the combat team.
It is looking better every stream. Yep,
How are you guys?
absolutely.
Doing pretty good here. Glad to be back on stream.
I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you both. I know you guys have put in a lot of work and I think really representing pretty well what a lot of people who played fighters and other MMOs love about the class. I'm excited to chat with you about the direction you guys have taken. And obviously helping to make that a reality, feature team owner on the combat side, as well as one of our senior engineers. Keenan, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
And now that you mention it, I think that original fighter stream was actually my first stream.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was. I think you're right. Yeah, there was a lot of work that went into kind of obviously changing the direction of melee and combat in general at that time. And now we are seeing some of the fruitful persistence in that direction. So one other thing I want to let you guys know is obviously we are here back again in the Riverlands, and we are actually in front of Oak and
They're level 12.
an area you guys.
I always look at the level, not that it matters. That's a lot of skills for level 12. So like sometimes like in these showcases, like what people don't understand, people always talk about balance and stuff. And I do the same, I'm sure, but you're not going to have this many skills probably at level 12 would be my guess. I mean, obviously I don't know, but these are consumables here, obviously. So, yeah.
Right when we ended that
So, I mean, it's not a true representation, probably. And then also, I don't know what level Steven is, though, because Steven has, 1150 health versus Dread, and Dread obviously has 669, but he is a fighter. I don't know what class. Oh, he's a mage. So, I mean, mage is naturally probably going to have less health.
stream, a
So,
story arc began.
XPI bar, yeah, he's level 15. Okay. Yeah. So, he's a little bit higher level than Dread. So, and then Dread's a mage, so that probably makes sense. That makes sense.
I think what we should do is something that we have successfully done in the past with these showcases.
I wonder if he leveled up in this. He didn't, did he? Because we would have seen the level up animation. I'm just curious. He didn't. Let me see how much his XP. Oh, he did level up during. He got to level 17 during this. Damn. Oh, so they might not. Maybe we didn't see the level up animation yet. Maybe it's not a thing yet. We'll watch and find out, I guess. We'll watch and find out. Or maybe he gave himself some GM levels there. Who knows what happened?
Momentum is obviously going to be referenced in Blitz. I was just looking at that. And as well as a number of other abilities.
Oh, I got to go back just a little bit.
Each individual ability first, talk about what they do, and give you guys a sense of the archetype and the abilities available to us before we get into combat with some freaky Goblin Town stuff. So, do I have a volunteer today that could help tank some blows potentially?
Yeah, I'll help.
Nice, awesome. All right, very cool. So, which should we start with first? What do you guys think?
Start with Blitz.
Blitz? All right, let's see. Blitz is the first
Yeah,
one
let's
on the
go.
board.
Charge directly towards target enemy, dealing physical damage to the target on arrival. Yeah, pretty straightforward.
All right, let's do it.
Did it have a cooldown on it?
Sorry.
It doesn't have cooldowns, but we'll see it in a second.
Why don't we first start
0.8 seconds is how long it takes. That my assumption is that's how long it takes to finish the animation. Yeah,
with momentum?
and 10 mana isn't too much considering his mana,
Sounds like a good idea because
which it shouldn't
obviously gonna
probably
be
take much
referenced
mana.
in Blitz. I was just looking at that, and as well as a number of other abilities. And momentum is essentially a class energy system. Is that right, Chad?
I guess we have ads going right now, so
Momentum.
that's good because I need to take a quick little break. Let me take just a quick little break. I gotta refill my water. There it is. All right.
Yeah, I'll go into one.
All right, momentum. Generate one. Hi. Hey, welcome. Penum. Welcome in. Generate one combat momentum when hitting targets. Weapon combo. Finishers generate 3 combat momentum plus an additional 1 per 10 the caster already has. So obviously a snowballing mechanic. And obviously I like the weapon combo. You know, I like that it works with that. Grants unique increasing stat bonuses based on the combat form you're currently in and how much momentum you have built. Cool.
So one thing that we feel adds a lot to just class identity in general is something that is beyond just an ability. In this case, it's a class or in this case an archetype resource called combat momentum. So in your top left of the screen here, you'll see that you've got your standard health bar and your mana bar, and then a third empty bar that you'll see kind of build up in combat as we play, that you build up.
Like how each class has its own resource. Yeah. Yeah, I like that too.
up through
I like that too.
actions that you're doing
You turn it up. Yeah, you're right. I've got it pretty quiet, don't I?
through the kit, and you can use this resource to get passive power to your character based on which form you were in, which we'll get into it in a little bit here. And you can also spend it for certain unique, especially powerful bonuses.
So, and guys, just to remind everyone, obviously,
Here, we'll crank it a
everything
little.
you're going to see here is still a work in progress. We are
Tell me if
working
that's too
towards
loud.
Alpha 2.
You probably can't hear my mic now, though. Maybe 10% more?
As it relates to the UI, as it relates to the effects.
I've got everything maxed
designs
now
will change.
that I can max
Balances will
anyways.
change. So keep that in mind. What we're looking for is kind of direction.
Okay.
Right?
Mic is good
Direction
too.
on this archetype. What do you think looks cool? What other fighter influences have you had
All
in
good.
other MMOs
Perfect.
that you think could be incorporated as well? That's all part of the discussion. Okay, so momentum is that class energy ability, and as you guys have seen, obviously other classes Trad is talking about has some
25 out of 54 skill points available. Probably not how many skill points you would have available at that level, but
similar kind of class energy mechanics. Momentum
but again, I have no idea.
is definitely.
I have no idea.
It looks like it is as it sounds, right? I mean, this is something that just passively is generating.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Increased stat bonuses.
I think I'm gonna watch. I want to watch. I want to watch probably like up to here, so that tomorrow during my normal live stream tomorrow, I can get through the whole thing. Hopefully, if I don't pause too much.
And those stat bonuses, we'll get to in a little while how they can be applied based on some individual buffs. So now that we know what momentum is, and it's good to generate that, let us talk a little bit about Blitz. What is Blitz as an ability?
Yeah, Blitz is your gap closer, your bread and butter gap closer. You pick a target and you charge to the target. There's also a spec option that interacts with the resource if you choose it, that generates some combat momentum, so it lets you kind of open the encounter with a little bit of resource to start.
Okay, so I'm gonna charge the target directly, and I'm gonna deal damage on a rival, which is physical based, and this spec option says that it generates.
Yeah, you can spec for more momentum. I assume a momentum goes to 100, so 20 momentum is. I mean, that's
20
good.
Additional combat.
And again, it's all balance. So I look at all the numbers, but they don't matter really right now. You know.
Now, presumably, combat momentum does
more
not
of a jump. Yeah, you're right.
After it hits.
It's kind of like a jump. Yeah.
100 points. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then I see under it there is an additional spec option that says killing an enemy with lethal blow will reset the cooldown of Blitz. So the more I kill, essentially, if I use lethal blow, I can just keep that momentum up.
Oh, that's 1 of 1. I thought that said 1 of 4 for a second. Like you could almost put more points into it, but that's not the case.
Up, generating additional combat momentum, so I can use a little bit after, potentially landing on the target and replenish that quickly after with executing lethal blow on the target as a kill, and then raging Blitz into the next.
Yeah, it turns you into more of a aggressive mobile character if you go with that. Like you're killing enemies and then you need to pick a new target. He might be far away. You charge to him, kill him, rinse and repeat.
Cool. All right, let's take a look at this.
The I haven't really commented on the Rinkai, but I like it. I don't know what else to say, but I like it, I guess. Plus the resource, that's a good anime. I like the animation. Plus the resource depletes with time. Yeah, it does go down quickly. You're right, it does deplete. You don't like orcs, but they look good, yeah.
Nice. Okay, that was cool. And presumably this also scales verticality.
I didn't see...
as well.
He's got cooldowns turned off, doesn't he? Yeah, he does.
Test it.
And guys, for the
That's
purposes,
fine.
obviously, of this demonstration, I've set my cooldowns to 0 so that I can more repeatedly use...
yeah,
there we go. We got
that
some...
makes sense.
Kill those little mushrooms, huh? I don't want to spoil the
I'll nuke them
skills.
for you.
Have we seen those mushrooms since Alpha 1? I don't think we have. Because I remember those things in Alpha 1. They had some weird name back then. I don't remember. It was like a kind of a placeholder name, but... The goblins, I don't know that we've seen them since that like event teaser they did a long time ago. Like that little teaser of goblins attacking a node or something.
Stormy day with this ancient balance.
I don't know if we've seen them since then. Maybe we have.
Oh, and by the way, we are
The mushroom's been in a few streams with no goblins. Yeah.
playing
Okay.
for the first time in I believe in game.
Wait, what was that? What did I just see there? I don't know. I just see little things and I have to pause. Sorry, guys. What is that? What's he doing there?
I believe
She's casting something, huh?
in game.
I don't
The
know.
Ren
Oh, he's casting a heal. He's casting a heal. He casted a heal there. That's what that was.
works. Got my trusty mohawk going on. It is probably the most appropriate race.
I think water has seen some major improvements. I don't know. The water looks fantastic to me.
Class combination.
I always thought the water looked good anyways, but I think it looks really good.
I thought so.
Dude, yeah, I love the animations when they did the caravan, we saw these where when you step in it, it does the, you know what I mean? It does that thing. I like that. That's fantastic, man. Like you don't see that in MMOs very often. I know it's a very small thing, but
All right, so I'm going to try to jump.
that's just absolutely fantastic. I don't know.
I'm going to try to scale.
Yeah. Only your character gets the animations. Yeah. I remember watching the Narc video where he showcased that. Yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, you kind of have to do that, right? Because otherwise, you know, it's just more things for that your client has to render, right?
This thing on you. Let's see here. Oh man.
I do like that. I don't think you have to jump to go up. I just think that as like I feel like there's, and I could be wrong, but I feel like there's a minimum like height to be able to go up. And so I think that's why you had to jump in this case to go up. But maybe you do have to jump to make that work. I don't know.
I'm going to try to scale this thing on you. Let's see here. Oh man, now
Yeah,
that
performances, yeah, certainly.
is cool. That was awesome.
But I love when in combat they introduce the idea of verticality. Like the Ranger has all kinds of verticality with the airstrike and how you can like turn in midair and like land in a higher level. Like I love like verticality. Like I wish more MMOs had that integrated into their combat. I think that's great.
Awesome. Let me do that again.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think you do have to jump because he fails the next time. Yeah.
yeah. This is kind of an
It could-
answer you
it
get
could
to
be
like
what
that
it
archer
is.
on the ledge.
It
That's
could
just
be what it
free
is.
shooting
Yeah, I see here he fails.
on you, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get up there with you.
Oh my bad there. Let me try this one more time.
Yeah. You might have to
very
you might
nice.
have to jump. I don't know. You might have to jump to do it.
Okay, so by default, so now let me try this. Oh, did you just die?
I think that was a
It's two fighters air charge at each other at the same time. Do they instantly die to slat damage?
bad nuke.
That might be
My
the
bad,
case.
from someone.
They might become like a fighter singularity, become like a fighter black hole and suck everybody in. Like the old black hole from the mages or whatever that was called in Alpha 1. Maybe that's how you like synergize to bring that spell back. Or maybe it still exists and we haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
Oh my bad.
No, that was for sure my bad.
That feels really good, by the way.
I think
That
you might
feels
have to
clean.
jump to do that, you know?
Very
I think
clean. Oh,
I don't
there's-
know. I don't know.
Somebody also die over here?
Just a little mushroom kid.
Oh, little mushroom. Okay. Okay, Blitz feels really good. Well done with that. I like that. It's super smooth and fluid, it feels. You know, there's not really any movement interruption either on contact or at the initiation, which is obviously one of the most, you know, ideal feeling points of any mobility skill, right? Is that fluidity throughout. Okay, let's talk about the next one.
Brutal Cleave. Perform a wide sweeping attack, dealing damage to all enemies in front of you. It takes 1.2 seconds. The animation. it shares a cooldown with Overpower, and hitting an enemy with a weapon combo finisher reduces its cooldown by 8 seconds. Wow, 8 seconds. So this has at least an 8-second cooldown. That's nice. Plus 10 to 20 combat momentum based on number of targets hit.
So we have Brutal Cleave.
Interesting.
Yep, this is
The range is probably, they don't have a range on it, but it's obviously kind of melee range, maybe like 2 to 3 meters, something like that would be my guess.
probably your most bread and butter AoE
It is
attack.
it's a big cleave for sure.
It does a medium amount of damage. It's not one of your more spectacular AoEs, but
It's got good range.
it's your primary
It's
AoE
kind of mid or like a longer melee range.
resource generator, so you're going to be using this a lot to build your momentum. And you also weave this a lot between your weapon combos because
Yeah, that range seems like better than basic weapon attack range to me. So like maybe like basic weapon attack range times 2 is what it felt
your
like to
weapon
me.
attack finishers
5 meters? Yeah, I could see it being 5 meters. I could see that.
will reset seconds off of this cooldown. So if you're like going back and forth between cleaves and weapon attacks,
I didn't see
you get to do more of them.
so on one target,
Okay.
let's see how much momentum he gets. He gets 10. So they said 10 to 20. So I wonder how many targets you need to get 20.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
quite a
pretty
few.
cool. All right. So this does.
Also, the more targets you hit, so that's why it's really good in AoE situations.
Then you can see, yes, momentum does, after out of combat, it does fall off pretty fast there.
Is you get more momentum based on how many targets
Oh, it's 10 per target.
you're
Okay.
hitting.
Got it. So after
But it-
jumping
Must cap out at 20,
in
though.
with Blitz, especially if there's multiple targets, going with
Or 10 for the first and 2 per each after. That could be. It could be. They say 10 to 20 based on number of targets hit.
a Brutal Cleave is just going to really.
Is he gonna hit 2
amp
people right
that
here, and
momentum.
we'll see. We'll
and
see
then
it
looks
right
like
here,
also
maybe.
That this ability, it says shares a cooldown with Overpower.
No, he's not gonna hit 2
And
people.
it
though.
says also the weapon combo finisher
he doesn't?
will
Ah,
reduce
damn.
its cooldown
All
by
right.
8 seconds.
Yep. So you'll be resetting overpowers more frequently because if we want to just jump over to that one, that's the single target counter.
So that one they show a range of 4 meters. So because it shares a cooldown with that, I mean it could be similar, but AoEs typically have a little bit bigger range, right? Deals direct damage and applies shaken to enemy target. This ability shares a cooldown with Brutal Cleave, and hitting an enemy with a weapon combo finisher refreshes the cooldown of this ability. Plus 10 momentum. Okay, shaken. I'm trying to remember what shaken is. What debuff that is. Snare. It's but that's how you get there by putting shaken on first, and then you get snare, right? Maybe, I don't remember. Bash the target with shield, dealing damage and applying the shaken condition. If the target is ready, surfing from the shaken. So if you put shaken on twice, you get a stun. That's the promotion that you get. So that's the only other one that had shaken on it, right? There was more things that had shaken, I'm pretty sure. So that's interesting. So I'm trying to I'll try to like track all the things that that had status debuffs and stuff. 10 per target, 10 for... No, he doesn't. They explain it. Okay.
Part to this attack. It's
That's got a good range, too. That almost feels
just a
as
single
big
target.
as the range on the
hit,
other.
but it is
So maybe the other one is 4 meters, too.
shorter cooldown, so you can reset them more frequently, and it's also generating
That might be like a meter shorter. I don't know.
your resource. So it
Oh, so shaken... So did he put shaken on twice and then he got tripped?
kind of your cooldown, so you can reset them more frequently. It's I just jump over to that one. That's the single target counterpart to this attack. It's
So
just a single
shaken.
target hit, but it is
They're shaken again. Which one is shaken? I forget.
Shorter cooldown, so you
That
can
one,
reset
right?
them more frequently, and it's also
Yeah, it's that one, I believe. Because every time that meter resets.
generating your resources.
And then he hit another skill to give tripped, maybe. Is that what happened?
So it,
Did he hit the same skill, or was it another skill? I think he hit another
but it is
skill.
shorter
Right?
cooldown, so you can reset them more frequently.
That's not active block there, is it? That's a stat block. Shaken.
And it's also generating your resources.
So he got tripped there, but he just hit overpowered. I don't know. I don't know how it got there.
So
I don't know how he got it tripped there. Did somebody else put another debuff
choosing
on?
which one to use based on what your enemies are.
Tripped. Thank you for the ball. So there is like some hard CC. There's more hard CC on this than people think. Staggered. So if there's a snare, so that's how that trip gets triggered. The one skill does shaken, and the other skill will trip if shaken. Okay, so I must have missed him using another skill there.
Very cool.
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
So it kind of shorter cooldown powers
Let me
more
go back just a
frequently,
little bit.
because if we want to just jump over to that one, that's the single target counterpart to this attack. It's just a single target hit, but it is shorter cooldown, so you can reset them more frequently, and it's also generating your resource. So it kind of
Yeah, without cooldowns on, it's hard for me to tell what
cooldown, so you
he's
can
using.
reset them more frequently, and it's also generating your resource. So it kind of you're choosing which one to use based on what your enemies are.
Yeah, I think he used another skill to get the tripped.
Very cool. That looks great, by the way. Scott and Siva have
Or
done
somebody
an
did,
amazing
anyways.
job.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how the effects turned out.
Yeah.
Like making physical look this cool, like, you know, it was a feat.
So there's a stagger.
Oh, my bad. Okay. All right. Very cool. I like that. This brutal cleave is awesome. Let's talk about maim. Here, let's go over here a little bit. Right here. Talk to me a little bit about maim.
So this is a more powerful AoE attack in the kit. Do you have a spec right now for the
Yeah, let me take a look
range?
here. And by the way, brutal cleave, I apologize. There's no additional functionality. It looks like on brutal cleave, but we did talk also about.
So this thing here is obviously some kind of buff. And then that's also a buff that he has. Well, in this form, the caster receives +2 movement speed per 10 combat. Oh, that's the form that he's in. The forms they talk about later. Up to a maximum of 20% movement speed. Yeah, they talked about that earlier. So that's
Overpower's on the right column. It's an
I don't know if he ever
auto-granted
talks about
ability,
that.
so it's not going to be in this tree.
Oh,
like if you,
got it.
there you go.
Okay, so it doesn't
so
have
this-
any spec options either.
That's right.
But maim does. And should I turn maim off? Let me turn the spec option off
he can get a projectile.
first, because this actually extends the distance of the projectile by essentially launching that piercing projectile. Is that right?
Yeah, let's take a point out of that first, and then we'll just kind of look at the base effect.
Okay.
So this is just a cone in front of you. You're hitting in a cone in front of you. It's pretty heavy hitter. You're not resetting the cooldown of this, so
Yeah, it's a good animation. Like, I don't always like when they raise like up like
you
that.
need to be more
But on a spell that does a lot of damage, I don't know if this roots you, but it almost feels like this probably roots you, which is fine. I think that's fine.
aware of when you're using this. But it also has the added effect of it will do more damage against recently tripped enemies. So that's where you really.
Oh. So however he tripped him earlier. I don't remember how exactly. I didn't catch exactly
We
how
want
you
to save
tripped them.
this is if you've tripped someone, or if someone else has tripped an enemy, you capitalize on it by basically smashing down on them with this.
That looks so good. Love it. That is awesome. Okay, so let's spec into the projectile. Now this is going to give you obviously a lot more range.
Yeah,
Oh!
Oh shit.
Oh.
This adds a piercing projectile on top of the attack, so you're still getting that frontal AoE hitbox.
That's definitely not going to be easy to hit. So all the people like, there's not enough action and skill-based aiming and stuff, which, you know, aim isn't as skillful, I think, as some people think it is. But, well, here's an example of this is not going to be easy to hit at that range with somebody moving. That's going to be hard to hit.
Same, but you're adding a projectile on top of it. And the cool thing here, too, is the projectile gets the bonus of the damage bonus from the trip. So you could actually combo into a target that you see trip from range with this as well. One reason this is a spec.
That's a good animation. I like it. I like all the animations.
Some fighters will want to be using this in a way that, you know, you don't want to
now, like some of these animations, maybe
pull a mob in the distance, so it's just kind of an added layer of skill if you're using
in a
this
mass
like a really
PvE or PvP situation. Some of these animations could be like a bit much, but you can turn them down, right? So to me, it's not a big deal.
cluttered environment.
Yeah, when it's 250 versus 250, as long as you can turn it down, I'm fine with it. But I think, you know, obviously it'd be nice if the stock animations are not too over the top to where you have to go in and change all the settings, right?
But it's kind of a
Much more
trade-off.
solid than Mage, yeah.
That feels really good.
That's got crazy range
That
on
is
it.
awesome.
But at long distances, you're going to have a hard time hitting that.
Give myself some mana.
Which is fine. It should be hard to hit.
There we go. Okay, cool. I love Maim. That is an awesome ability. Let's talk about Battle Cry.
This is definitely one of my personal favorites.
Unleash a resounding war bellow, applying the riled effect to the caster and all nearby party members, and shaken to all nearby enemies. Gain 5 combat momentum for each target that was riled. Riled targets have increased stability, which I assume is like less, probably reduces your chance of getting CC effects on you. That would be my guess. I don't know. And have increased chance of tripping shaken enemies. I wonder if they've ever talked about stability before. I don't think they have. I don't think that's been talked about yet. That's a new thing. So my guess is that's some sort of like debuff immunity, like maybe debuff to like trip effects and things like that. Or, you know, reduced chances at a minimum. This sets up the trip. This one does. Okay. Shaken to all nearby enemies. Okay, so maybe you put shaken on with this, and then with the other.
It doesn't do damage.
With the other shaken, maybe that's how you do trip. That could be.
But it's got some really cool effects going on with it.
Because people were saying, so there's the staggered. What spell did he just use?
So it doesn't do damage, but it's got some really cool effects going on with it.
Oh, so he did staggered. So this, does he just do staggered with basic weapon attack? Is that what that is?
So, do you want me to start talking about it, or do you want to use it first? Okay, cool. So I love this.
So there's the shaken.
This is an AoE opener. What it does a few things.
Shaken,
One,
for sure.
It riles your allies, specifically your party members. It will also apply a
I like the grunt. As somebody that likes to grunt a lot, I'm a fan of the grunt.
status effect called Shaken to your
I definitely grunt a lot when I'm PvPing, man.
enemies.
I'm a grunter. So yeah, he got tripped there.
It will also apply a status effect called
It's a little hard to tell how he got the
Shaken
trip
to your
sometimes. So.
enemies.
There's definitely plenty of CC on the fighter. Some people were saying in my guild Discord that there's not much CC, but there is. You just have to combo it. It's not like built into the abilities, but you have to combo it.
And then it will generate a certain amount of combat momentum
Yeah, the Orc Roar, I love it.
per ally that you riled.
They're shaken.
And then just to elaborate, because people are like, what is shaken? What is riled? Well, shaken right now.
There was a reflect there. Is that because of, I forget what ability this is. That's a cleric ability. The thing that goes around, but that's just I thought that's just did healing. You got to reflect. I don't think I've seen reflect yet. Oh man, so many new things. So the wiki is they're going to be very busy this weekend. Yeah, I wonder what caused that reflect. Just RNG? Maybe like some stats he has on his gear or something.
Is a debuff on enemies that
you can synergize with other party members. I like skills that needs, say, a bard or a mage to do something so that you can do something else. Yeah, absolutely. With the bard, I want to see like a lot of that. Like I can't do this unless I have a bard with me to make bards like obviously needed. Because to getting people to play bard in a lot of MMOs is difficult unless you make them strong. You almost have to make them overpowered, right? Shaken is a debuff that will allow any physical hit to % trip the target. Oh. That makes more sense now. So he just like with Shaken on. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, that would make sense. Because he was just like auto attacking or the weapon combo to trip him when Shaken was on. That could be it, man. Yeah, the wiki doesn't really have Shaken. Doesn't really have Shaken. I mean, it's got snare. But that's not Shaken. That's a different thing. And if I was really curious about it, we could do this. We could do this. Let's see if it's in there. No matches. I'm sure they've talked about it before. Or maybe they haven't. I don't know.
that whenever
The fighter dev. He talked about this stream, the fighter dev. Oh, okay. I haven't got to it yet. Oh, thanks, Dr. Brewers. Thank you. Yeah. Finally, they answered a Rive question. Some of the nerds, I guess, in AOC Discord didn't like the question, but I'm not too worried about them. Thoughts on the fighter so far? Well, I watched the whole stream kind of at work, but I wasn't able to watch it like super close like I am now. I loved it though. I loved it. What I did see and what I'm seeing now, I like it as well. So yeah, but thanks. I haven't been putting like a YouTube comment in because they never would answer it, or the one time it got on stream, it didn't get answered. And this month, just like last minute, I put it up there and it got answered. I got put up there and answered. So excited about that. I've finally been acknowledged by Intrepid Studios in some way. That's the first time. And I don't care. Like, I'm not hurt by it. Like, it's fine. There's a lot of content creators, so they can't get to everybody. But it was cool. I thought, and I'm a noob, yeah. I've only seen to this point, it's all new from here on. And you're a noob. Yep.
they take damage,
You're
they
right.
have a small chance to become tripped.
So there's staggers. Something does stagger too, though.
There's some good combos with this where
I'm over, I don't know why, but I freak out about the combos. I just love combos. And because that's one of the things in a combat system that you can once you learn your rotations and learn use this, if this type stuff, then that's the combos is how you kind of take things to the next level, right? And they called that player synergies and stuff. They called that it's a status effect. It's a status effects is how you do all these things, right? So you have all these status effects, and some of them can be promoted to other ones and things like that. That's it's exactly how Arcade worked. If you ever played Arcade, or if you play Guild Wars 2, they had a combo system. BDO has combos, but they're entirely different from that. But I'm very curious to see more. I like this combo system. Like, it's the Arc-Age combo system, but I like the way they have like these combos, like working with the weapon combo system and things, and with how the weapon combo system can work with this too. Like, it can apply certain status effects, right? Your weapon chain can. And so that's really cool. And that's kind of a way to like really like take your play from like, I'm like really good, you know, to go from like really good to great. It's like, it's really difficult, right? And it's like little things like this that get you there. Like mastering this little player synergy system is what they called it in one of the streams.
Go into like a
Arc-Age could have been great. Yeah. Many problems with Arc-Age. Rives a pillar. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I think I think I'm pretty small, you know, in the grand scheme of things. But hopefully, you know, hopefully someday I could say that I would agree with that. But I think I've got a long ways to go. Some people don't follow us as much that don't know who you are. Obviously, we forget them. That's fine. That's fine. I agree. Yeah.
Hit AoE, and you can capitalize on that. And then
Mainstay Foundation. God dang, dude, I like this Burns guy. Who's this Burns guy? Anybody heard of this guy? Man, I like this guy. Well, I mean, at this point, you're there too, buddy. I mean, you got. I mean, you're there too, man. You definitely are there. If we're just like rubbing each other's backs, let's just.
Tripping, or by triggering trip status, that flows into maim really well. So that's one of the combos I like to do. Is shout
I'll bring the lotion. Yeah, I'll try to watch the stream now, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna watch it now.
out into like a
Sorry, I got a little excited there. People were saying nice things, and it got me a little excited. This animation is
into.
I paused it at the perfect time. That's a lot of blood, dude. That's a lot of blood, man. God damn. That's a lot of blood.
Maim to do extra damage against targets that have procced that effect.
Yeah, these are feeling great. Wow, I do like the battle cry. That is like probably the most standard feel.
What animation was that Maim that gave him that?
Like,
all the blood?
Expected action on behalf of the fighter, some type of battle cry effect, and this one captures it well.
Battle cry is good. That's good.
I love that. That's cool. Okay, we saw Whirlwind back a while ago.
Steven made me cough.
Talk to me about what's changed about Whirlwind.
So Whirlwind is actually pretty close to what it's always been. It's an AoE channeled attack that ramps up.
Channel ability: deal physical damage to all enemies around the caster with each spin while channeled, increasing the spin rate for the longer it is channeled. The longer it is channeled. Someday I'll be able to actually read. The caster is immune to hard disabling effects while spinning. Am I like at a low-ass resolution? What's going on here? Oh, no wonder, man. No wonder I'm having trouble reading this shit. What the hell's going on here? I don't know. Should we go 4K? Well, I should be able to handle it. There we go. I can actually read it now. It's cool that the vocalization will be a character creator option. Oh, they said that during this stream or recently? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. When you can change your voice and stuff, I like that. Main applies the wounds debuff. The blood is the debuff stacking as the... Oh, yeah. I think I kind of was talking a little bit when he was going over Maim. I kind of actually want to go back now that I can actually read shit. Can't believe I forgot to change my resolution there. But it's set to auto. That's Whirlwind. Where's Maim at? I was talking while he was talking about Maim. I kind of want to see that again. Sorry, it takes me a long time to get through these.
I love Maim. That is an awesome ability.
Okay. It takes me a while to get through these because I pause a lot. I apologize.
Okay, cool.
Okay, perform a powerful melee strike in a short forward cone, dealing physical damage to all targets, plus 100% additional to recently tripped targets. Yeah, so there's a lot of interplay with trip in his kit for sure. Definitely is.
Cool. I love MAME. That is an awesome ability. Let's talk about battle.
Go frame by frame if you like. Yeah.
This is definitely one of my personal favorites. It doesn't do damage, but it's got.
So we did Battle Cry.
I could invest additional points into this particular skill if I wanted to give myself a finishing blow, essentially.
Into, you know, and then just to elaborate, because people are like, what is Shaken? What is Riled? Well, Shaken right now is a debuff on enemies that whenever they take damage, they have a small chance to become tripped. So there's some good combos with this where like you go into like a multi-hit AoE and you can capitalize on that. And then by triggering trip status, that flows into MAME really well. So that's one of the combos I like to do is shout into like a whirlwind, which you'll see in a bit, into.
Did that do it? Does it? Yeah, that's the one that does the massive bleed effect.
MAME
Okay.
to do extra damage against targets that have
I like it.
that effect.
That's maybe a bit excessive on the bleed effect there, but
Great. Wow, I do like
maybe
the,
a little bit
the
excessive,
battle
but
cry.
that's
That is
fine.
like probably the most standard feeling, like, you know, expected action on behalf of the fighter, some type of battle cry effect, and this one captures it well. I love it.
Gosh,
That's cool.
It's
A
gonna
while
make me
ago,
cough again.
and talk to me about what's changed about Whirlwind.
So Whirlwind is actually pretty close to what it's always been. It's an AoE channeled attack
Spin the wind,
that
baby.
ramps up in speed the longer you hold it. There's also a spec option on the right if you want to pick that. That gives a final upward swing at the end. That has some additional bonuses to it.
Okay. So let's do it without the spec first.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, cool.
Standard,
So it
but it's
exits
got
out
that
after
little
the-
bit
essentially
extra
the
where it
spin
spins faster
thing
as you
there.
hold it.
Let's see.
Yep.
I don't mind. I don't know about hold down abilities sometimes. Like I don't mind them. But it gets a little bit awkward if like you have a hold down ability and you try to use an off global cooldown ability at the same time. Like you have to do a little bit of like gymnastics with your fingers.
I'm out of mana.
Which is fine.
Let's try again.
It'd be nice to have an option to where you press it once and it just continues until you press it again. I don't know if I would use that, but it'd be nice to have that option. I bet they'll have that option.
Yeah, you're also able to move during it, as you're seeing here. So,
Or just like press it once and to exit it, you have to like have a cancel cast button. Like if you played like WoW Arenas, like you have to have a cancel cast button, like macroed, or not macroed, but keybound. And a lot of MMOs, like in higher level like PvP situations, like cancel casting and like fake casting, that's like a big thing that a lot of people don't do. But like showing the first part of your animation and then canceling it before it goes off to like fake that something huge is about to come, and then they like use a big defensive cooldown and waste it. That's fake casting. That's what that is. So like having a cancel cast button would be like useful for that. Cancel cast be big for Ashes. Maybe the spell cast you can walk during. Yeah, you have to be able to cancel out of that, of course. Yeah, definitely. Like the Mage Blizzard, like there's a situation where you'd want to cancel it early for sure. So it's not a hold down, it's a click on, then you can cancel it. So, okay. Well, if that's the case, that's good.
so it's pretty nice to be able to just kind of like use this while you're moving through a pack of mobs.
Got it. So let me spec now into the option that I could invest additional points into this particular skill if I wanted to give myself a finishing blow, essentially. Oh, nice. Okay.
So
That's
you get
good.
a big hit at the end. Also, you can stop this at any time. So you're seeing him do the full channel, but if it's like, oh, I want to cancel out of it early.
I've not made it very far into this.
From time to time is
I want to get to like here, but I don't know if it's happening. I don't know if we'll get that far.
This ability is kind of good at tripping enemies because it's hitting really rapidly. You might see a trip and you can cancel out of it into a maim early. If you want to show off that combo.
Into a maim, yep, let's do it.
There you go.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
The guy's health bar was a little bugged there. Did you guys see that? I wonder if that's intentional though, to like maybe that's saying this bar is almost done. Maybe that's, or maybe it's just bugged or something. Because I know like it's supposed to like change color or something. It was how they described it at one time. As you take the HP off.
There you go.
Oh, nice. That's cool. That feels good. Let's see. Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. All right, cool. Whirlwind feels good too. All right, Cataclysm is another one that we saw a while ago.
Cataclysm. Deal heavy damage and apply Shaken to all enemies in a large area in front of you. Shaken enemies have a 5% chance to... There it is. There it is. Yeah. It'd be nice if they had that. It's a small thing, but because of the previous skill that had Shaken to explain Shaken there. They'll get there. 5% chance to trip when hit. The effect is removed when triggered. Interesting. So Shaken, like, there's so many things that put Shaken on. And then you put something that does a bunch of hits, like the spin to win. And that's how you can get trips to proc more often. That's cool.
Go. What's changed with Cataclysm?
Yeah, a lot has changed with
I think Cancel Cast is going to be big for... Oh, we did that one already. And WoW, you just have to take a tiny step to cancel usually. Yeah, it depends. Like, they've added more and more, things that you can cast while moving in WoW. Like in WoW Classic, definitely. You just have to step one way or jump. That sort of thing. Wonder if it's incoming. It could be incoming healing. You're right. It could be incoming healing.
This one.
This chance is doubled when hit by riled characters. Did it? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So is that a talent or is that baseline? That must be a talent, huh? Oh. And riled comes from the shout. Okay.
It used to be like this big like hammer.
So you get shaken on. With a bunch of things did Shaken. This one did. Did that one? I can't remember, but a bunch of things do Shaken. It was like that one maybe, or maybe that one. I don't know which one did Shaken, but a couple of things have done Shaken, and then you do your shout, and then you do spin to win or something that does a lot of hits, and you're gonna have a really good chance to get tripped, and then once you get tripped. Then you hit your execute, because I think there was an execute ability, right?
Appear over your head, and then it hit like an...
Yeah, it does. It also does Shaken as well, yeah. Rouse your team as well, yeah. So with all your team, especially if you had multiple fighters, like you're definitely going to get some trips.
AoE kind of far away.
Definitely going to get some trips.
Overall, it ended up feeling a little awkward to use. We wanted to turn this more into like your big...
So the way I understood this is the giant hammer thing. Redone. The big hammer thing from the Melee showcase that they showed, and that we've seen it a few times. I kind of get the feeling that's this redone.
Frontal AoE damage. So this is like the other...
Yeah, the hammer one.
End of the spectrum, like stronger than MAME. It's
so
just
a trip into overpower into execute. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is overpower, right? The shout, and then we haven't got to the execute yet, but there's your combo, boys. The RyveGenesis Fighter Guide is coming out tomorrow on YouTube. I'm gonna explain to you guys how to do the trip, overpower, execute combo, the wombo combo.
Big ultimate like AoE attack essentially. It's pretty straightforward.
All right, no additional spec options here. And by the way, for those of you out here, that are wondering about kind of how augments, even though we haven't seen a lot of augment work being done, a lot of this tech is foundational in...
I like the skill tree. Some people don't think it's too basic. I mean, I think this is a level 15 skill tree, or whatever the current cap is, 25 or 30 or 35 or whatever it is in Alpha 2. I think they said 35 for Alpha 2, but right now it might be lower than that. I think the skill tree's fine.
Applying these
long as
types
you
of
think of it.
spec options.
Yeah, dude, we're already Theory Crab. We've already got this figured out. We're gonna go into the very beginning of Alpha 2, and we're gonna be doing this combo like day one at like as soon as we get all these skills.
Which augments essentially are as well, but they can more radically change fundamentally what the ability is. So
yeah, I don't want skill tree to complete all the options. Yeah. I know they've said that like with the professions, you can complete all the options if you get to Grandmaster, which that's weird. But have they said that about classes, or is this just for demonstration purposes? I don't think they've said that about classes, have they? Yeah, that's the Steven Sheets, right? I don't think this is the and we're he's level 15, right? You're not gonna have all these at level 15. There's no way. And he's got like 54 skill points. You're not gonna have 54 skill points. So I have a feeling you're not gonna be able to put points in everything. Like I don't think that's the objective at all.
that whirlwind.
Yeah, the opposite. Yeah, you got to pick and choose. Yeah, yep. Now professions, they did say in the profession stream recently that Grandmasters will have everything, which I'm a little iffy on that too, I guess, but we'll see.
Adding an additional component.
It's going to change anyway, so don't worry about it, right?
To the ability, which is that climactic whirlwind, essentially, could be considered functionally as an augment, an additional effect applied to the ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Let us showcase.
Yeah, augments
that
are just augments in the skill tree are like kind of the same thing, right? So,
Awesome.
like this whole idea, like, oh man, they don't have augments yet. They're not that hard. They're not that complex.
Oh, that feels much better. Yeah, that's cool.
So again, more shaken. So we're gonna be able to combo hardcore. Shaken enemies have it. Yeah, there it is. It shows it there as well.
This is also another way to apply shaken to enemies as well. It and battle.
They've said some contradictory things. Yeah. I mean, that happens. Like, here's the thing. Like, we've got this wiki where every single thing Steven says is documented, and then like there's if everything I've said was documented, there would be so many contradictions. Like, it'd be like, man, this fucking Ryve guy, he's all over the place. So I mean, that's just like that's going to happen, unfortunately.
Battle cry are kind of on separate, longer cooldowns, so you might find yourself sort of going back and forth between these interchangeably.
Some of these like have big wind-up animations, which is fine.
You can change the direction.
But yeah, like you're gonna be able to, like in PvP, like there's no cast bars that I can tell. I haven't seen a cast bar. Like, how in WoW you can turn on their cast bar, right? They don't have that in Ashes, which is good. I like that. Because what you're going to have to do to get good at PvP is you're going to have to learn every animation, like the ones that matter, and know which ones you need to dodge, which ones you need to block, which ones you need to use defensives. And this one potentially with a 2-second cast time and deal heavy damage. So that's how you balance like deal heavy damage, right? With a big long cast time. This is one that you're going to want to dodge out of if you can. Or whatever you need to do to mitigate at least some of the damage. Yeah, certainly.
Here.
Yeah, you can only be. Yeah, you're right. You can only GM 2. Yeah, but you know how they had the talent tree in the professions, just like the talent tree they have here. Allegedly, or the way I took that when they said that is like you can unlock everything in that talent tree at Grandmaster level for like say animal husbandry or what have you. So
mid wind up.
Yep.
But then, as Burns said, they've made some contradictory statements. Particularly with animal husbandry. Yeah, that's a giant wind up animation. Like. but you can aim it, you can turn it, right?
Nice. I like that. Obviously, the granularity in that.
Yeah, it gives you a little more agency. Like you're not just locked in place because it is a full rooted ability. You cannot move during this, but being able to
Yeah, and I'm fine with that being a rooted ability for sure because if it's a big damaging ability. But I like that you can still aim it. That's cool.
the turn like gives you a little bit more, you know, control over what happens as things might change mid.
Yeah, I mean, like here's the thing with like, so even if like you put every skill point in your profession, you still have some differences in terms of crafting because they have said with crafting buildings and with processing buildings, you cannot put everything in everything, right? So like you'll have a weaponsmithing station at one node that doesn't have everything, right? But then they've also said, man, we're getting into professions now, but they've also said that you can only have 2 Grandmaster professions at a metro node, which means, oh man, we're getting into something. We're getting a little bit crazy here. We've gotten sidetracked. We've gotten a little sidetracked, but that brings up something that I've been thinking about. Been thinking about this a little bit. So they've said 2 Grandmaster professions at each node, at each metro node, right? Stations, right? And there's 5 nodes. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll have only duplicates of 2, right? But if the crafting station cannot have everything maxed out, you literally will have some professions where you will not be able to craft certain things on some servers, which that's interesting. And here's the other thing. You can only have 2 at each metro node, right? So you're traveling a lot. Like if you need like leatherworking could be on the opposite side of the world from armor smithing, right? So you're going to be, they're forcing travel, which is, I think, a good thing, obviously. They're forcing people to go into the ocean, right? Because some shit is not going to be on your continent. If you're on one of the continents, you have to go to the other continent for certain things. Yep, exploration is a feature, absolutely. So this is something interesting that I thought about because I'm doing the Everything Known About Ash's Creation video for 2024. And so as you go through that, you just you read through this entire wiki for the 18,000th time, right? And like certain things like come up with the crafting, like where was that at? Now I got to find that for you guys so you guys don't think I'm full of shit, right? You don't think I pulled that out of my ass or something. Somewhere in this wiki, it says that you can only have 2 crafting stations, Grandmaster crafting stations in a metro node. I don't know how I would find that though. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I found it. Metropolis Stage 6 nodes may have two Grandmaster crafting stations. So this obscure part of the wiki, right? I start connecting the dots. I'm like the conspiracy theory guy with all the strings going everywhere on the whiteboard. That's I started thinking about that. I'm like, man, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing that I don't think too many people are thinking about right now. I should probably make a video on that. I don't think I have made that video yet, have I? But did I make that? I think I might have made something like that recently. I don't remember. I lose track of what I've made and what I haven't made, but I don't know. I think about that. Freeholds can also have crafting stations. Yeah, but they cannot. The highest tier crafting is only done in nodes. What else? Have I missed anything? Beautiful Mind. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, that was exciting. Just something I've been thinking about with crafting. Maybe I should have put that in the YouTube comment. Maybe the Angries in the Ashes Discord would have liked that one. I don't know. They didn't like my question apparently.
Freedom feeling there, and that's obviously.
They didn't like my
that,
question.
you know,
Rupture: deal physical damage and apply a debuff to the target. While the debuff is, this is the one that's you know what? I was thinking about this skill as well, and this is an interesting skill. In Guild Wars 2, you know, Mesmer, they put this in like in one of the expansions. The Mesmer had a debuff that would like cause you to take damage when you moved, but it wasn't like a very like super clear animation. So I don't know. I would always take the damage because half the time I wouldn't notice I had it on me. So like I want to see like with stuff like this, like a clear animation that says to you that, look, obviously you can see the debuffs on your bar and things, but people aren't staring at their debuff bar. I like having animations on your character that say, hey, you've got Rupture on you. Slow down or don't move as much, right? I'd like to see that. You know, anything that rattles the dust off the AOC sheeple is good, yeah. If the Discord doesn't like your question, it's probably, yep, that's probably true. That's probably true.
Philosophy and a standard that's taken.
There's another 4-meter range one. We've had a lot of 4-meter range ones. Another kind of long cast time. Fighter has a lot of long cast time stuff.
Across a lot of the classes as it comes to like, you know, rooted ability use and whatnot. That freedom of agency, that movement is core to kind of the melee experience and general skill usage. All right, next up we have Rupture.
Yep, so this is an interesting one. It's a single target attack, and
this is the blood animation one. Yeah, that makes sense.
Puts a temporary debuff on your target where if they are moving, while that effect is on them, they will build up.
Oh, I don't know if I like the sound effects of that. Holy shit, the blood squirting out.
Wounded stacks.
Oh no. That's a little bit extreme there, buddy.
We can talk about
that. That's a little extreme right there, man.
We can talk about this as effect in a moment here, but at the end of it,
the fact that he should have.
Oh, we got another 1 minute ad. Hey, let me. Not everybody's subscribed, so let me be right back. I need to go take a quick break, anyways. Okay. Well, the good thing is, let's get back to the correct thing here. The good thing is that animation, It's pretty clear.
Like literally zero
It's
blood
pretty
pressure
clear.
remaining after rupturing that much blood.
So the idea that the animation you'll be able to know that you have that on there.
We can build in that mechanic.
Yeah, you definitely know you have something on you, and you'll know if you know what that is. You'll know you need to stop. But you can see like his stacks going crazier.
But also, you'll notice at the end of it, he takes a big hit of damage, and the idea is that that damage will scale with how much wound they have on them. So this will have kind of some inter-synergy going on
you
with
see
itself,
the stacks going
but
nuts.
also there will be other sources of wound that you could kind of synergize this with this for further for that big delayed hit at the end.
Wow. Okay. So the
weird
wounds,
that they
the
stay
wounds are
on there,
essentially these stacking debuffs that get applied, and that's gonna, you said, decrease their healing received.
Correct.
And also increases damage taken from all sources.
From physical sources.
From physical sources. Got it. Very cool.
Yep. And the more you build that up, because
that's another kind of CC. Like there was some debate that there's not enough CC on the fighter, but
is actually a stat.
It's kind of like a soft CC in a way. I know it doesn't technically force somebody to not move, but you're gonna want to not move, like in most cases.
Hacking thing. It's not just like a single status effect. So the more you're wounding the target, the more and more debuffed their healing, incoming healing becomes. So it's one of those things where if a fighter is like on your target that you're trying to keep alive, you want to peel a fighter off that target because the longer.
I like the tank. They haven't gone over this spell yet, have they? But I like that animation too.
They get that uptime, the harder it's going to become to heal them up.
That's cool. That's awesome. Okay, love Rupture. Also love an insane amount of blood that's happening.
Yeah, it might be just a little bit much on that, but I like that they let you know that that's on you. Like that's a good thing.
About overpower, what do we got here?
We talked about this one. This was the resource generator.
That's right. And that one doesn't have any additional spec options. The Rupture also looks like, did that one have spec options?
It does not, but if you go in, so you will see kind of to the right of Rupture, there are some things that it unlocks. Like below it, Maim actually. If you go to Maim and then to the right, there are some things over here that you get to unlock as well, which kind of synergize with Rupture. For example, Brutality.
Oh, there we go. We talked about this, Burns. I don't know if Burns is still here, but like immortal wounds from WoW, right? That the warrior has, or is that what it's called? I forget. But yeah, healing debuff, which I think is something that fighters having in their kit's a good thing. Each wound stack reduces target healing by 0.5%. Yeah, that's good.
Allows you to start applying wound stacks through your weapon combos. So if you really want to lean into that utility, like I'm a heal debuffing spec fighter, right? Like that's my thing that I do. You could go into this, and now your weapon attacks, in addition to generating momentum, are also applying wounds to the target.
Love it.
10 wound stacks enemy set. Yeah, there we go.
And then this one adds more wound specialization if you go down.
Oh wow, okay, so this gives Overpower and Brutal Cleave wound application.
Yeah, it's basically what it's kind of doing is it's tying your wounds to the way that you're normally building momentum if you want to kind of dual spec into both.
That's cool. Wow, it's strong. Okay, let's talk about this apparent crippling blow.
Do physical damage and apply snare. Okay, so this is the one that did snare.
Oh.
And snare's just a slow.
Yeah, sure. So crippling blow. This one's pretty simple. This is a standard single target snare. So a pretty common
just a slow,
combo you'd use is like blitz into.
I like that. I like when you have a debuff on you and it has an animation. That's just something that I like.
To a crippling blow if you're like getting on top of a
having that little animation, even though maybe it'll be hard to see. I don't know, but that's nice.
target that's trying to kite you. Like if you
Is that in a lot of MMOs now, you have to stare at bars and you have to look for all these debuffs and buffs, and I just like it when it's like more in the game world and you can just see it. Now obviously I see that he's moving slower, right? But the little animation adds to that.
if you're charging up on a ranger who's like
you're not gonna have all those skills. You're not
the
gonna
last
have
thing
them.
they want is you in their face. Like snaring them is gonna force them
I even like the
to
little
maybe use a gap. They want is
I like the respawn point. I think that looks good too. Those are respawn points.
in their face. Like snaring them is gonna
That looks really good too. I like it.
force them to maybe use a gap opener because they're not able to outrun you.
That's cool. So crippling blow is pretty strong actually, especially when it comes to PvP. I mean that's a pretty significant reduction in movement speed.
Yeah, it is single target, so you do have to choose
It lasts for like 5 seconds too. It's pretty good duration.
wisely who you were snaring, but it's pretty nice to be able to just lock a target down. Not like hard CC, but just make it easier to stick on top of them.
Very cool. All right, crippling blow, and then we have lethal blow.
Powerful
This is another
descending
one.
strike upon targeted enemy, dealing additional physical damage based on the amount of percent missing health, up to 300%. So that's the finisher. Okay, that's your execute. Up to 300% of base damage. Okay.
One of my favorites.
Again, another like long ass cast, 1.1 second, but it should be for a something like that, right?
This is the execute of the kit.
Yeah, another soft CC. Yep.
It's single target as well, but the lower health they are, the harder it's going to hit. So this is really like you're trying to do as much damage with your other abilities as possible, and then when you get them like within that kill threshold, you're just gonna hit them with this, hope for a crit maybe, and finish them off.
Yeah. Oh damn.
Use it. There you go.
Oh my god.
Damn, dude. Steve in the chat.
This does have
Look at
a
this
couple
guy.
spec options as well. One you kind of went over if you kill them with.
Here's my question. Maybe I missed something, but are there abilities that use momentum? Because obviously, like momentum, if you get more momentum, it boosts like your stats and such. But are there abilities that actually need this as a resource? Maybe we haven't gotten to it yet.
That, and you have the spec that resets splits. You could
The resin animation looks fantastic, but again, in a large-scale PvP, if a bunch of these are going off, that's maybe a bit much.
immediately blitz again, even if it was off cooldown when you got the kill.
Yeah, I can't have any more questions. I'm making
If you
all the
wanna open
nerds,
your skill
man.
tree here. We can look at the other one.
Let's talk about it. And the crippling blow did not have any.
Deal physical damage and apply snare to target enemy for 6 seconds. Yeah.
Back options, but lethal blow does.
Returns 50% of overkill damage to as health and mana.
Yeah,
That's
so a lot of the time, I've played games where executes hit really hard, but you waste a lot of the damage, and it's like, oh, I saw a cool big number, but it didn't really do anything. It's kind of wasted. This spec option
You'll get to the momentum spinning. Don't worry. Yeah. Yeah.
lets you make use out of that. So it turns any overkill damage into like health and mana return to you, the
Oh, that's
caster.
awesome. And you know what I love about that? It's at least as it relates to PvP, is that you do not have granularity insight to the opponent's hit points. So you're really rolling the dice if you want to maximize efficacy on this consuming lethal blow.
Yeah, that's how I've been using it a lot.
Yes.
Like sometimes I pull it off, other times I don't.
Love it. That's super cool. I like that interaction there. Okay, let's go up here. We got Blood Feud.
Returns 100% of damage dealt as health and 50% of, and this is an instant cast, and 50% of damage dealt as mana over the next 6 seconds. So a little self buff. Off global cooldown because it's instant cast. So you could be like spinning to winning. Where's the spin to win? There it is. You could spin to win, and you could, while you're holding that, or maybe you don't have to hold it. We don't know. You could like go 5 and then shift F1 because of the really terrible keybinds. But you know, obviously, if you had better keybinds, you could easily go hit that as you're channeling something else. If activated while below 50% health, gain 25% increased damage mitigation and healing received over the duration. I like it.
Fusion.
Yeah, so
Snare synergizes with the ranger well. Sun Method's a first-time chatter as well. Welcome in, buddy.
I'm kind of like that lethal blow spec we were using. This is another way for the fighter to.
Yeah, it does snare. It does snare would work with the ranger good, wouldn't it? Will you be making YouTube? No, I stopped making recap videos of these live streams. Yeah, just because like I don't know, they don't get views, and unfortunately, I did it for like I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, and it was like my least viewed video like every month. Like the videos of Ashes that I do. Thanks, Sun Methods. The videos of Ashes that I do are like these speculative ones. Those are the ones that people watch. So, unfortunately, I did it for a long time, but at some point you have to make, you know, those hard decisions, right? Like, am I wasting my time here, right? And I don't care. Like, I'm not like overly obsessed with views by any means, because I went for a long time with no views on my channel. Like, it's not all about views for me, but. You know, you only have so much time in life too, so you have to make some sacrifices sometimes. And after so long of making those recaps, and there's like, you know, by the time I would get mine out, there'd be 5 of them out already, and mine just wouldn't get views, which I understand because everybody's watched the live stream. They've all watched it, so I don't do them anymore. Even though I used to do them and I enjoyed doing them, but I used to have like notes. Like I would take so many notes, you know, before I even did the video. I'd go like we're doing now, like frame by frame, going through this, and like, oh, I'd fucking like, I'll clip this and I'll put that in the video, and like, it's just it was nutty how many hours I put hours and hours and hours into those videos, and they'd get like 400 views. So eventually, you know, you have to make those choices, and that's what happened. Atrophy pronunciation, yeah. Is it atrophy or atrophy? I've had that many times where I've mispronounced things. I had a video where I talked about meta, and I pronounced it meta. I used to pronounce meta as meta a lot. And man, the comments on that video were, dude, I got so many comments on that. Is it atrophy? Is it atrophy or it's atrophy? Thank you for the follow, Sir Ungington. Appreciate it. Like the second A in attack. Okay. Yeah. Okay, atrophy. I say atrophy though, right? Yeah, so that's why it was all messed up, huh? Hold on. Let's see. I don't even know how I said it. How did I say it? I don't even know how I said it. Let's see what Google says.
Atrophy.
Atrophy. Yeah, I say it wrong. I'm pretty sure I say atrophy, but it's atrophy. Yeah, maybe I need to click that link. That's probably what I should do. I should click that link. Yeah. I have there's a few words that I definitely do not pronounce correctly. And I definitely hear about it when I do.
Health and mana back to itself. That's kind of one way that the fighter sustains itself, because it's in the thick of things, right? It's a primary target. You've got to be in danger to be doing a lot of what you're.
I'm gonna try to get to 30 minutes on this, and we're gonna try to do the rest tomorrow during Ryvelations episode 5 tomorrow night. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get to 30 minutes here, And then I'm gonna
Your
probably
hit does. And this is
probably
like one
call it
way
a stream after that.
fighter can stay in the fight. And if you pop this, it's a big cooldown. But for the next 6 seconds, any damage you do will have a percent returned as health and mana to you.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Alkaline 1138. Appreciate it, buddy.
Okay. So let me... Somebody nuke me for like 500.
You go ahead, Shred.
Okay, I don't want to do it all at once.
Multiple 500s. Like 3 500s.
There you
All
go.
right, and then I am going to deal some damage here to see how much I get back.
Yep, so that last hit.
Yeah, like a fighter needs to have a lot of sustain. They don't have like mitigation as much as a tank, but they need a lot of, that's good ass sustain right there.
Missed the window, but you got a good chunk from...
Clown. Yeah. Did I mispronounce alkali too? All right. Is it alkaline or alkaline? God damn it. Alkaline. Let's see. God damn it. I guess it's anything with an A in it, huh? Is that what it is? An A or an E? Is that what I struggle with?
Alkaline.
Alkaline. I said alkaline? Oh my God. That's fucked up. I can't pronounce anything apparently.
Alkaline.
Alkaline. Did I say alkaline? God damn it. I'm disappointed in myself.
your other attacks. The value of this is super variable based on when you use it. So if you pop it in the right moment, you've got a lot of targets around you, you're like popping your AoEs, like this is going to get a ton more value.
Yeah, dude, apparently I'm not too good at pronouncing quite a few things. I wonder if I'm saying pronouncing right. Is that correct? Oh, shit. Now you got me. Oh, shit. Did I? Oh, shit. Pronouncing. Pronounce.
Pronounce.
Okay. Well, at least I've got that part. I think I've got that. God damn it. All right, we're working on it. Yeah, I said meta wrong for a long. It took me a while to reprogram meta to from meta to meta.
That's cool. I like that. So it's an instant cast that can happen in the middle of any ability activation.
Right.
Nice.
You could like start your Cataclysm and then pop that right before it lands.
That's cool. That is super cool.
Yeah, because that's off global cooldown. So yeah, that's what we were talking about. That seems like 10 minutes ago, but you could do Cataclysm or you could do Spin to Win. Yeah, you do it right before it lands. That's true. That's a.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay, very nice. And I like the effect. Effect looks great.
It's got more.
It's a little bit like the other animation, but
I also love the audio for it.
Might be a little confusing, but.
All right, let me grab whatever this is.
Yeah, the feet moving stuff. Yeah.
Stuff. I think that was on your corpse. I'm sorry, Brian. Don't do that right in front of you.
My
It's
loot.
disrespectful. Okay, cool. Let's skip Exert for now. Let's go to Lunging Assault.
Yeah, so this is like going to be one of your first spenders of your resource.
I think Lunging Assault's going to be the last one I'm going to go over before I go raid somebody. And we'll do the rest tomorrow.
This spender is more for mobility.
Oh, we're getting into spenders now. Okay, we're finally getting to the spenders. Spend 15 combat momentum to lunge in a direction in a short distance and perform an upward swing upon arrival, dealing damage to enemies in front of you. You're immune to hard crowd control effects while performing this ability. That's nice. And it's only 15 momentum. Fairly quick cast time compared to the others.
It's a smaller spender, but whenever you use this, you will dash forward a short distance and do an attack at the end. And it's pretty freely usable. It doesn't have a very long cooldown. It's
additional charge and generates 5 additional combat momentum when dealing damage to one or more enemies. Okay.
Spending your resource. So the more resource you're generating, the more you're able to
in essence makes it cost 10.
Reposition and dash around the battlefield and get some extra damage out there.
I see. Now, obviously, utilizing the resource.
In a game with long time to kill, less than momentum. Yeah. It is a long time to kill from that caravan PvP. It's a long time to kill. Yeah.
Of course, with lunging assault, because you're dealing instances of damage to enemies that you impact, you have an opportunity, if executed well situationally, that you can actually probably have a net gain with this. If there's
wonder if any gear will have thorns on it to counter fighters. Yeah, something like a reflect type of thing, or like, WoW Druids had the thorns buff. There's a lot of stuff like that in MMOs. Arcage had some things like that. Guild Wars, a lot of them had some sort of thing like that, reflect damage, or like a buff that you could put on that would cause some of the damage to be reflected back. Gear that makes it so fighters don't get as much momentum from hitting it. That would be very interesting. That'd be kind of cool.
a huge amount of enemies, like a train or something, right?
Yeah, it would probably take a lot of enemies to actually get a profit, but you can at least mitigate the cost through that spec choice of if you're hitting enemies, you can get resource back, and therefore you're getting to do this more, and you're also not losing the value of your resource.
Twitch 177777. Thank you for the ball.
Get it that you're getting passively through your forms, which again we'll get to soon.
Cool. Okay, let's try this. There we go. And now I don't need a target for this. I can just kind of...
Nope, freely. It's a reposition.
There's a lot of action abilities on the fighter. Yeah.
Alright. That's cool. Oh, okay. So it's kind of not too far a distance there.
Yeah, it's meant to like be more of a repositioner where, you know, you're...
Thank you for the first time chat. Love it. Appreciate it.
You're dancing around your target. You might be zipping back and forth between different enemies in melee.
Right.
Whereas you have other tools for going longer distances. You have Blitz. You have the next one that's about to come up from here. So those are going to be more of your long distance mobility skills.
All right, let me try this more long distance mobility skill here. Talk to me about...
All right. We're at 31:45. I'm saying that so I can go watch the VOD tomorrow and remind myself. I'm gonna go raid. Let's raid somebody. We've got Nice Gaming TV on. Let's raid him. Should I wait for the next skill? All right. You talk me into it. All right.
Leap strike.
All right. We'll do it. So leap strike, is this the next one? Leap to target location and deal damage around you. Snaring targets hit for 3 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, so this is like...
Nice little snare there.
Like, this is the most free mobile...
distance.
Yeah, it's...
Dude, that's insane distance. God
it's
damn.
very far, and it doesn't require a target, unlike Blitz. And you're also gonna...
Dude, that, like, as an engage, holy shit. I'm one of those that's like super aggressive, and my healer's always pissed because I'm so aggressive, you know? Anybody that's in my guild, they know this. So this is really going to piss them off because I'm going to be jumping into so much shit with this.
Going to basically deal damage and AoE around it. So it's just a more powerful but less frequently usable gap closer / opener if you even decide to use it as an opener.
Oh my...
That's good. That's a good one.
God! I am the Juggernaut!
I assume you might be able to go up a little bit in elevation with this one too, huh? I wonder if he ever did that. He probably didn't do that in the stream, did he?
Oh, that was so cool. I love that.
Yeah, you could, because that goes up pretty high. I bet you could go up a little bit.
Yeah, that's a fun one to use.
Holy smokes.
Oh, you can just wait. Ah, shit. It's okay, Ryve. I'll aggressively heal you. Dude, I need somebody to heal me. Like, I need frontline healers. We need some frontline healers in Genesis Guild to heal my ass, because I like to get in the thick of things. I like to get the fuck in there. I don't like to sit around, you know?
Smokes.
Definitely more AoE focused.
And again, guys, I am using 0 cooldowns right now just so I can demonstrate the abilities Well, I know you're all thinking like, what? This character's just gonna fly around the battlefield. That's not what's happening.
That's good.
Literal rocket.
I know.
You can actually use this too to go up on ledges. Like if you were to try and get up.
There it is. I haven't really watched like a lot of this, but I was, like you said, I was at work, so I didn't catch everything. I don't think I caught that part.
On one of these ledges we were trying earlier.
Oh, I missed. I'm not too worried about it. But
You don't even need it.
actually, you know what? I just want to see that. What was that? What was that tooltip? I saw it, now I need to see it again. I don't know if he ever shows that.
You don't even need a target to use it.
Let me just check. Are there any spec options here?
Hold on. I kind of want to see what that
You
tooltip
were to
said.
try and get up on one of these ledges we were trying earlier.
There it is. Switching forms and other triggers cooldowns or cost combat momentum. That's like the first thing in the tree. I almost get the feeling, and I could be wrong, but I almost get the feeling like there's more than one tree. Because that's kind of a weird thing for your first talent point. Before you even get forms, like I don't know. Do you have to start at the top? I assume you do. Yeah, you would have to, right?
Earlier.
Yeah.
You don't even need a target to use it.
Yeah. It could, maybe it starts at the bottom. I don't know. I guess that's possible. Well, this arrow's pointing down, so you have to have this first, right? And maybe you start with that. Or maybe you can just pick anything that doesn't have an arrow pointing towards it. Maybe that's what you can do. Maybe you could pick this. Maybe you could pick that. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. I mean, most talent trees, you got to like start here and then move through it in some way, right? But maybe you can just pick whatever you want. Maybe that's what it is. You can start at any square. It almost seems that way. I think that is the case. I think you can start at any square, but I don't think you can start at this square. I think square. Yeah, you're right. You can't start at circles, but squares. Yeah, because that's got an arrow going towards it. Yeah, I think it's squares. I think you can do any square. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Let me just check. Are there any spec options here?
Starts with the abilities that you pick. Yeah.
Not currently, but there will be.
That could be. It could be something like that. Yeah, that could be it.
All right, let me try to jump up on here.
Can't start anything that has an arrow going to it. Yeah, you can't do the circle ones because like you've got the squares and you've got the circles. So you can do the squares. But this square has an arrow going to it too. And so does this one. So maybe you have to start here. You have to start at that square. Maybe I should have asked that question. Maybe they would have liked that question. I don't know.
Let me just check. Are there any spec options here?
We'll do it next time. We'll get a better question next time.
All right, let me try to jump up on
there it is. Dude, you could go up pretty high then.
Oh, I was
not
too
quite.
short.
Not quite.
Too short. My bad. Hold on, let me try it again.
See, like if you can put the targeting thing there, I think it should be able to like. You should go there. I don't think it should be
Usually, I've had more success when I'm.
And that's just obviously kind of a bug probably, but
bring gaps rather than actually like trying to go up different.
Yeah, it's on top. Like if you've got your thing up there, you should go there. But they probably haven't put in the code yet to say based on where your location is in the world that should turn red. Like if you can't actually get there. And obviously they've got the range where you can only put it so far out. But they also need to have some code to be like, oh, all right, this is not going to land there.
Verticalities. But sometimes, yeah, it works.
Oh, we did it.
Oh, he jumps before he does it. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think you should have to jump before you do it. I think that's just got to be a bug, right? Yeah.
We did it, boys. It happened. Very cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about...
All right, what's the next one? Let's see what the next one is.
Fixed time of day, but it feels like it's getting darker. I don't know. Let's talk a little bit about... next up.
I Oh, he goes into the forums. All right, that'd be a good spot to stop. We'll get into the forums tomorrow, and then after that, it's just them. There's a few more things maybe, and then he goes in. The rest of this we can speed through a lot quicker. Oh, he does go into the weapon combo trees. I remember that. I was able to watch that part. The weapon combo tree is much better. Like they've added a lot more to it. But yeah, a lot of this we'll be able to go through a little bit faster than I won't have to pause as much. But I do want to look at all the cooldowns and stuff, obviously. So we're at 33:48. But, obviously, man, some of these have pretty big cooldowns, right? And obviously it's all placeholder, I get it, but it just kind of gives you an idea of what the design kind of is looking like, right? Kind of the plans. Like, obviously, something with a huge cooldown. I think that's the execute, right? It should have a huge cooldown. That makes sense. Toy Soldier Torso. Interesting. So, anyways, we were at what? 33 something? 33, 38, something like that. We'll pick it up there tomorrow. We're going to raid. He had to jump for the charge to get up the hill. Yeah, so it must just be like a bug thing that he has to jump right now. Imagine how big the skill tree will be on full release. Huge, huge. Let's raid Nice Gaming, and then I'll come back tomorrow for Ryvelations at what time is it at? 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll finish this out. It'll be a good time. We'll have a great time with it. We'll do all kinds of weird stuff. Typing in Nice Gaming TV, hopefully correctly. Stay nominal. Absolutely. Did I say nominal correctly there? I hope I did. I have a complex now. Oh man, did I not say CST? Is it supposed to be CDT? Oh man. All right, let's raid, guys. Nominal is correct. All right. We'll see you guys later.